So good day everyone. My name is Engineer Vincent Michael G. Sauler, and I'm a designer or design engineer in DPWH 2nd District Engineering Office in Zambales. And here is my topic, Chapter 1 of Principles of Management, Managing and Performing. So after this chapter, we will all be able to answer these questions. Number 1, what do managers do to help organizations achieve top performance? Number 2, what are the roles that managers play in the organizations? And number 3, what are the characteristics that effective managers display? So I have a few quotes that I have researched in the internet. Number 1 is, good teams incorporate teamwork into their culture, creating the building blocks for success. It is from James Callahan. So it is very important, just like yung sinabi ng ating President-elect Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., we have to be united with our culture. Okay, we have to know the missions and visions of our company, and this is the very foundation indeed for success. And number 2, management's job is to convey leadership's message in a compelling and inspiring way, not just in meetings but also by example, and that is from Erica Hall. So very important, no, that our life is the very testimony of the leadership we are. And dapat nakikita ito, nagre-reflect ito sa ating attitude, personality, on how we handle our subordinates. And very important is we have to communicate well in a very inspiring way para madali nating ma-command, madali nating ma-influence ang ating mga subordinates. And lastly, communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality of every part of your life. So, a very important aspect sa leadership yung communication. Without communication, of course, there is no life sa work. So, of course, just like in our personal lives, we need to socialize with other people para tayo ay magkaroon ng relationship with them. Very important yung relationship-based leadership, as well as, of course, yung academic-based or theory-based, principle-based. And now, we need to answer the following questions na sinabi natin kanina. So, first is, what do managers do to help organizations achieve top performance? So according to this pie graph that we have, it is the 5-year period observation of Qatar to successful managers. And sabi dito, 75% likes to work with subordinates. So just like me, sa planning and design section namin sa BPWH, we have various branches inside. We have those who design the roads, the bridges, the flood controls. We have those who do the programming of works, those who estimates, those who communicates with the municipal hall for the right of way, for the permits. So very important yung working together as a team, dahil hindi lahat yan is magagawa natin all by ourselves, by the chief of the planning and design. So we need to communicate to them, we need to pass our works to them para sila naman yung mag-process. So very important yung pagko-communicate natin with our teammates. And 25%, according to the pie graph, likes to work alone. There's, of course, an instance na kailangan natin mag-work alone without any interruptions. Because according to our topic, interruptions also appear to be a natural part of the job. Stewart found that the managers she studied could work uninterrupted for half an hour only 9 times during 4 weeks she studied them. So very important, no? We know how to handle the stress itself, no? We know how to handle interruptions, just like yung social media. Of course, interruptions such as yung mga stress from our employees. So kailangan we should time manage and stress manage. So sabi dito, managers are in constant action. So managers must know how to switch from this task to another task, to multitask. Okay, in short. And we have to learn how to divert our attention from our previous task to another task. Diba? We have only 8 hours in a day. And we have, of course, targets in one day, in a week. So we have to manage yung ating pagiging mabilis mag-divert ng ating focus from one task to another task. And of course, we must do our work in a very effective manner, not just yung pabilisan lang. Or ika nga in construction terms, yung pakyawan. We should do our work just like arawan. Okay? Kumbaga may quality over quantity. So, of course, sabi dito, when managers are in action, they are talking and listening. So, it is very important na hindi lang puro suggestions natin, hindi lang puro recommendations natin yung mananaig, but also we should get the attention or the feedbacks of our subordinates. Dahil sila din, malay natin, they have a more brilliant idea than us. And of course, pagsasama-samahin natin ideas na yun bilang manager to formulate a very innovative idea para maging successful, ma-achieve natin yung goal, yung target ng company. 'Di ba? In my case as an engineer sa construction, we have the so-called toolbox meeting. Weekly, we handle toolbox meeting para makausap namin yung mga laborers, makausap namin yung foreman. Ano ba yung mga nagiging problema? Ano yung mga nagpapatagal nung target? Bakit hindi na-accomplish? Ano pa yung kailangan natin? Materials ba? Or we need more manpower? So we need to handle those things. We need to be aware of those things as a leader. So, what do managers do to help organizations achieve top performance? Ano-ano nga ba yun? We have 3: informational roles, interpersonal roles, and decisional roles. So each of those roles have 3 branches. So first, sa informational roles muna tayo, monitor. Of course, the leader must know how to seek and receive information from a variety of sources. From the internet, from Google, from of course, surveying maybe other companies, di ba? Ginagawa 'yun ng ating mga yung mga iconic natin na mga construction companies such as Ayala Land, Mega World, no? According from their interviews that I have watched, no, they are actually sending some people, or they themselves are going sa mga malls, sa mga commercial structures nung kanilang kaaway, or I mean sa kanilang competitors, to monitor kung ano yung mga bagong ideas na ginagawa nila so that they can formulate, no? They can counter-attack kung ano yung ginagawa ng kanilang competitor. So, it is very important also, as a leader, we know how to disseminate the information. Managers pass information on to others in the organization through memos, emails, phone calls, etc. And we can also use the social media, Facebook, Viber, di ba? Some of the tycoons in the construction companies use the Viber, no? Most especially also yung Messenger para makapag-communicate, no? Because sometimes ito ako nasa isang tower ako, yung kasamahan ko nasa isang malayong lugar naman, and we have a very urgent na information na kailangan i-pass through. So we use the internet, or we also use speakers, di ba? Yung mga walkie-talkies, etc. And also, lastly, sa informational roles is being a spokesperson, no? Of course, the managers must know how to speak fluent, di ba? Hanggat maaari, during interviews, we are interviewed na anong mga kaya mo, di ba, sa resume natin, curriculum vitae, anong kaya mong i-speak na language. One of the common requirements is Tagalog and English. So, kailangan yon. We must be know how to make speeches, interviews, and written communication. No, written and oral. Okay, next role naman na itatakal natin is interpersonal role, and first branch is figurehead. Managers perform formal duties like greeting visitors, signing contracts, and legal documents. Next naman natin is yung leader. Managers motivate, train, counsel, communicate, and direct subordinates. So, leaders must know how, not know how, the leaders, hindi lang siya nag-showcase ng kanilang talent or skills, but leaders also must pass through yung talents, yung skills, yung kanilang attributes, allocates, para sa kanilang next generation of leaders. Dahil also leaders will be promoted soon, di ba? So, leaders must pass through para yung next na tutungtong sa position niya know the roles, the task that the position he left acquire, okay? Or require. And lastly is being a liaison. Managers maintain and manage information links inside and outside the organization. Of course, no? As a manager or as a leader, kailangan aware din tayo sa nangyayari sa environment outside ng ating workplace. And also, we must communicate also with other companies para mas mapastrengthen pa yung ating company itself. And next naman na role is decisional roles. We must be an entrepreneur as a manager to initiate project improvements, to initiate seminars, to give idea generation responsibilities to others. And next, disturbance handler. Managers must take corrective action during conflicts and crises, resolve disputes among subordinates. So, being a manager, kailangan neutral lang tayo. Okay? We must, of course, unite our members para hindi magkaroon ng ng samahan dito, samahan doon. Kumbaga, iisa lang yung goal, iisa lang yung mindset nyo. And lastly, and next of course, is being a resource allocator. So, kailangan ma-manage natin yung budget. Diba, as a manager, we assign accounting, financing section to manage our budget, to allocate kung saan to gagamitin, ano yung purpose ng allocation, ano yung timeline. So, we need to set priorities. And lastly, being a negotiator. No? Siyempre, tayo yung magre-represent sa other companies. Being a manager, we will be talking soon with other managers, no, to negotiate contracts, negotiate deals, partnership. Diba? So, kailangan natin yan. So, sabi dito, manager time is very fragmented. Okay? We must know how to time manage and also stress manage. Gaya nga nung sabi ko kanina, we have only 24 hours in a day. No? Kailangan hindi natin i-overburden yung sarili natin. Within that day, we have 5 days. No? Some of the companies have 5 days working day in a week. Some have 6 days, especially in construction industry. We have to manage the time, the goal, in each week, in each day that we stood in our work. Sabi dito, efficiency is a core skill. No? Kailangan magawa natin yung task in a very minimal time. No? With the less time that they need. No? Kailangan yung ating workday ma-manage natin. Efficiency has become the core management skill of the 21st century. Okay? So, kailangan i-manage natin dahil yung health din, very priority din natin yun. We cannot do well in our work kapag yung health natin is na-compromise. Diba? Sometimes, may mga nag-overtime. Diba? Kailangan nila mag-work ng night dahil nga ang goal nila is para makapag-ipon ng maraming pera. But of course, kasabay ng pag-iipon, kailangan kasabay din ng pagkalusog ng ating health. So, sabi dito, what varies in a manager's job? The entrepreneur role is gaining importance. Managers must increasingly be aware of threats and opportunities in the environment. No? So sabi dito, threats include technological breakthroughs on the part of competitors. Nag-i-improve yung kanilang technology, yung kanilang mga ideas. Obsolescence in a manager's organization and dramatically shortened product cycles. Opportunities might include product or services niche that are underserved, out of cycle hiring opportunities, mergers, purchases, or upgrades in equipment. So, kailangan natin, of course, some, di ba? Kailangan natin ng hiring process. We need to strictly, of course, isala yung ating mga employees na i-hire some employers, of course, are very relationally based employer. Na kumbaga, kahit walang experience, hinahire nila. Of course, dahil mag-grow yung employee na yon in the future, in the company. Dahil totoo naman, lahat tayo nagsisimula from zero once we graduated. So, sabi dito, managerial responsibilities, we have 9. Number 1, long-range planning. We need to, of course, plan for not just for the next future, but also next year, but also for maybe 10 years or more. Number 2, controlling. As a manager, supervisory yung position. We are in control of the different aspect ng company na yan. In the financial, in my case sa DPWH, in the planning and design section, in the maintenance section, construction section, quality assurance section. So lahat yun hawak nung manager namin sa DP, which is the district engineer. Number 3, environmental scanning. Yun nga, kailangan aware din tayo sa nangyayari outside. Number 4, supervision. Number 5, coordinating. Of course, we must coordinate with the different section. For educators, of course, diba? Nakikipag-communicate sila through teaching with their students. They are, of course, lowering their standard or they're lowering their level of communication depending sa ating kausap. Of course, no? So, kailangan balance din yung communication na pinapakita natin. Number 6, long-range planning. Number 7, customer relations and marketing, very important. Diba? Dun lumalago ang company sa marketing. We should market our products para tumaas yung sales. Diba? And number 8, internal consulting. And number 9, supervision. So, medyo naulit yata ito. So, we should take a look at our module. I will be revising my PowerPoint presentation on this one. So, variations in managerial work. Diba? So, we have, of course, different levels of management. We have the executives, middle management, the first line management, and also we have the executive managers. So, very important that we know the roles. The rank and file employees. No? So, this is the level in management hierarchy. So now, there are 3 types of managerial skills. Number 1, technical skills. Managers must have the ability to use the tools, the equipments, the materials that we have, procedures and techniques, the principles of their special areas. For example, dito, an accountant must have expertise in accounting principle. Sa engineering, in engineering principles, in structural principles, yung mga theories. Sa pagtuturo, of course, yung human behavior, how do we teach na yung student na may ganitong klaseng behavior or attitude or ganito kabagal yung face niya ng pag-learn ng new things. So, depende yon. Number 2, human relation skills. Human relation skills involve the ability to work with people. Of course, we must understand their behavior, the employee motivation, and group process. So, these allow the manager to become involved with and lead his group. And lastly, conceptual skills. These skills represents a manager's ability to organize and analyze information in order to improve organizational performance. They include the ability to see the organization as a whole and to understand how various parts fit together to work as an integrated unit. So, very important, no? Yung konsepto ng paano ba yung plano nyo sa work? Ano ba? Kasi nagsisimula yan lahat sa planning. Diba? Sa ideas, pagko-compile ng ideas. So, we need to analyze the information. Ano yung magiging pros and cons nito? Ano yung magiging positive and negative effect? What are the strengths and the weaknesses nitong idea na present? And then, through the ideas also of our subordinates, diba? We can now formulate an innovative idea para ma-achieve natin yung goal. Hindi man perfect yung idea na yon, diba? Minsan na mayroon na tayong plano, but as the process go on, diba, nagkakaroon ng failure, and then patuloy na nag-i-improve, diba? Hanggang sa nai-improve yung idea na yun, hanggang sa ito na-establish na yung ating idea. Baga ano na siya, integral part na siya nung company natin. And then management by department or function. So we have different functions and roles. We must respect the function and the role of others just as they will respect ours. In many firms, managers are rotated through department as they move up in the hierarchy. In this way, they obtain a well-rounded perspective on the responsibilities of various department. Maganda yun. Actually, in my, story ko lang to. So, I am trained by my chief sa aming planning and design section. Tinutur niya ako sa road design, sa bridge design, flood control, structures, yung mga building, yung mga school buildings. Kumbaga para aware din ako sa nangyayari sa kanila. Para kapag may umabsent, may kailangan sa kanila, alam ko kung ano yung sasagot ko. Kumbaga maipagtatanggol ko sila. And also, flexible ako. Mahalaga yun. Flexible. And as we move through the process of hierarchy sa management, pag naging chief na rin tayo someday, diba, alam natin, kumbaga, wala silang mailalaban sa atin dahil alam natin yung function, yung ginagawa theories na ginagawa ng other employees natin. So, very important yun. So, sa aking pagtatapos, may quote dito, sabi dito, the higher we are placed, the more humbly we should walk. So, it is very important na kailangan we should look back on our shoulders and we should appreciate kung bakit tayo nakapunta dito sa level na to. We should humbly walk pa rin, communicate, and dapat hindi tayo nakafocus sa position na meron tayo, but on our skills. And being a leader, of course, nakaka-humble kapag marami pa tayong natututunan. Kumbaga, wow, hindi lang pala ito. Diba? We can further move forward through seminars, through trainings, and through the lives ng ibang tao din, or knowledge ng iba. So, kailangan, I encourage everyone na mag-train pa, mag-aral pa ulit, just like yung ginagawa natin, para patuloy na sa pagmamanage natin, alam natin lahat ng ginagawa natin. Sa construction, di ba? Lalo na yung mga first-timers. Wala pa tayong alam. Yung mga foreman, yung mga laborers natin, semi-skilled or skilled man yan, mas may alam pa sila sa kung ano yung nangyayari on-site, yung actual. So, we need to go with them, train with them, and tayo, may mga alam tayo na hindi din nila alam. Mga theories and principles na from our school na natutunan. So, yun. So, yun lang. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you learn a lot from the lesson we have today. So, thank you and God bless everyone.